Buckle up, because what I am about to tell you is going to completely change how you look at your bank account for the next 12 months. We aren't just talking about a new iPhone and a slightly faster watch here. Apple is apparently gearing up for the single biggest year in the company's history. We are talking about over 20 new products dropping in 2026. I'm talking about things we've been waiting years for, and some things that sound so futuristic I almost didn't believe the leaks until I saw the code. We have everything from foldable iPhone to a MacBook that costs less than your rent, and even Apple glasses. If you thought 2025 was big, you haven't seen anything yet. Today, we're going to break down every single leak chronologically from the start of the year all the way to the holiday season, so you know exactly what to save your money for. Let's kick things off with the beginning of the year, right around February and moving into early spring. Usually, this is a quiet time for tech, but Apple is coming out swinging with a product that might just become their bestseller. It's the iPhone 17e. This is the new budget king. For years, if you wanted a cheaper iPhone, you had to deal with that outdated iPhone 8 design on the SE. That is finally over. The 17e is rumored to use the recycled chassis of the iPhone 15. That means no more massive forehead and chin bezels. You are getting that modern, edge-to-edge look, and yes, the notch is dead. This budget phone is reportedly getting the dynamic island. That is a massive upgrade for the entry-level device. It's also getting a serious spec bump with the A19 chip, which is going to make it fly through apps and gaming, and they're finally adding MagSafe. It was honestly a crime that the previous budget model didn't have it, but now you can use all those magnetic wallets and chargers. The best part? The price is sticking around $600. This is going to be the phone to beat. But right after that, things get even more interesting. There's a leak about a product that Apple has never really attempted before. Imagine a MacBook that costs between $600 and $700. I know, it sounds impossible for Apple, right? They are calling this the ultra-low-cost MacBook. They are targeting the student market and the people who usually buy Chromebooks. The design is going to be simple, plastic, colorful, and fun, likely with a screen smaller than 13 inches. But the secret sauce here is the processor. They aren't putting a Mac chip in it. Sources say they are using the A18 Pro chip, the same one from the high-end iPhones. Now, before you worry about power, realize that the A18 Pro is actually faster in single-core performance than the M1 chip that changed the world a few years ago. This thing will handle web browsing, documents, and even some light editing without breaking a sweat, and it brings ray tracing to a budget laptop. This is a full-on assault on the Windows and Chromebook market, and at that price, it is going to sell like crazy. Moving deeper into the spring, Apple is finally trying to fix their messy smart home strategy. We have been hearing about this for ages, but it looks like the HomePad is finally launching. Think of this as a mashup between a HomePod speaker and an iPad. It is a smart home hub with a 7-inch square display, a camera, and a microphone. There will be a wall-mounted version and a version that sits on a speaker dock on your nightstand. The reason this took so long is that Apple was waiting for their new AI-powered Siri to be ready. This device is meant to be the face of the new Siri, the one that actually understands context and can look at your screen to help you. If Siri is finally good, this device becomes the central brain of your house. Speaking of screens, this spring is going to be a dream for creative professionals. The monitors are getting a massive overhaul. First, the Studio Display 2. It's keeping the 5K resolution, but they're ditching the old LCD panel for Mini LED. That means deeper blacks, way higher brightness, and better contrast. But the headline feature here is promotion. Finally, we're getting 120 Hz on the studio monitor. Everything is going to look buttery smooth. If you have deeper pockets, the Pro Display XDR2 is also coming. Rumors suggest they are bumping the resolution up from 6K to maybe even 7K or 8K, reducing the blooming effect with better Mini LED tech and adding a built-in Wii. Cam, it's still going to cost around $5,000, so start saving your pennies now. Spring also brings some smaller, but much-needed updates. The AirTag 2 is coming. It's been years since the original, and the new one is focusing on privacy and precision. It will be harder to remove the speaker, addressing those stalking concerns, and it has a new U2 chip for better range and pinpoint accuracy in crowded places. Alongside that, we might finally see a new Apple TV 4K. It's expected to have the A17 Pro chip, which is insane overkill for a streaming box, but it means console-quality gaming on your TV. There's even a rumor about a built-in camera for FaceTime on the big screen. Now, let's quickly touch on the standard computer updates. We are expecting the MacBook Air, the 14-inch and 16-inch MacBook Pros, and the iPad Air to get updated to the M5 and M5 Pro chips. These are your standard speed boosts, faster, more efficient, better battery life. The base iPad is also getting updated with the A19 chip to support Apple Intelligence features. And speaking of iPads, if you're a creator, you know that writing on glass feels slippery and unnatural. It's one of the biggest downsides of the iPad. That's why you see so many people using screen protectors like Paperlike. It adds that friction and resistance, making it feel like you're actually drawing in a sketchbook. It's a small addition that makes a huge difference if you buy these new tablets. Okay, let's fast forward to the summer. Usually, Apple takes a break here, but 2026 is different. We have heavy rumors about the return of a fan favorite, the iMac Pro. Since the 27-inch iMac died, there has been a hole in the lineup. Leaks show a prototype with an M5 Max chip. This would be the all-in-one powerhouse for editors and designers who don't want a separate tower. We are also expecting the Mac Studio and Mac Mini to get their M5 upgrades around this time. It feels like Apple is clearing the deck, updating every single computer they sell before the absolute madness that is coming in the fall. The fall event in September is always the main event, but 2026 is taking it to a new level. Let's start with the iPhone 18 Pro and Pro Max. From the front, these phones will look completely different. The dynamic island pill shape is gone. Apple has reportedly figured out how to put the Face ID sensors under the display. All that is left is a single, tiny hole punch camera for selfies. It's the cleanest looking iPhone ever. On the back, the cameras are getting a variable aperture. This is huge for photographers. It gives you physical control over light and depth of field, natural bokeh, not just software portraits. Inside, it's running the A20 chip on a 2-nanometer process. That is a nerd way of saying it's going to be incredibly powerful and use way less battery. But the 18 Pro isn't even the biggest news. The star of the show, the device that will break the internet, is the iPhone Ultra. Yes, it's finally happening. Apple is releasing a foldable phone. It's a book-style fold that opens up into a massive 7.7-inch tablet. And here's the kicker, no crease. Every foldable from Samsung or Google has that visible line down the middle. Apple has apparently solved it. When you open this thing, it is perfectly flat. It's going to be the thinnest product they have ever made when unfolded. Because the bezels are so thin, there is no room for Face ID, so they're bringing back Touch ID on the power button. The external screen is a bit smaller than the competition, around 5.3 inches, meant for quick tasks. It's only got 2 cameras to save space, but they are 48-megapixel beasts. The price? Hold your breath. It's rumored to start at $2,000. It is an insane luxury device, but it's going to be the ultimate status symbol. The weirdness continues with the AirPods Pro 4. I barely believed this when I read it, but leaks say they might have cameras. Tiny, infrared cameras that scan your environment. The idea is that the AI can see what you're looking at and answer questions or adjust audio based on the room layout. I'm skeptical about the privacy aspect. Walking around with cameras in your ears sounds like a dystopian nightmare, but it's certainly innovative. Then we have the Apple Watch. There is a conflict in the rumors here. Some say the Series 11 and Ultra 4 are just minor updates, but other sources, reliable ones, say we are getting a major redesign with way more health sensors, to rely less on algorithms and more on hard data. The coolest rumor is the addition of Touch ID into the digital crown. Imagine just touching the dial to approve an Apple Pay purchase instead of double-clicking and hoping it stays unlocked. It's a small change that adds a layer of security we have wanted for years. Just when you think the year is over, Apple has more for late 2026. The iPad mini is getting the Pro treatment. We're talking about an OLED display. If you have ever used an OLED screen, you know the difference. Perfect blacks, incredible contrast. The iPad mini has been stuck with a jelly-scrolling LCD for too long. This update also makes it water-resistant and changes the speaker tech to vibrate the screen for sound. It's going to cost more, maybe starting at $600, but for a portable powerhouse, it might be worth it. And then, there is the MacBook Pro redesign. Yes, another MacBook Pro update in the same year. But this is the big one. It's getting thinner, lighter, and it is finally getting an OLED screen. But the bombshell rumor? It might be a touchscreen. After years of Steve Jobs saying touchscreens on laptops are terrible, Apple might be caving in. The interface will be tweaked to handle touch without being annoying. It's also losing the notch in favor of a dynamic island and getting native 5G cellular support. This is the laptop of the future. Finally, we have two wildcard products that might sneak in before the new year. First, an Apple home security camera. It sounds boring, but Apple entering the security space with their focus on privacy is a big deal. It has face detection, end-to-end encryption, and integrates perfectly with that HomePad we talked about earlier. And the grand finale, Apple smart glasses. Now, don't get too excited. These aren't the Vision Pro shrunk down. These are more like the Meta Ray-Bans. They're fashion-first glasses that connect to your phone. You can take photos, listen to music, maybe get some simple turn-by-turn navigation arrows in your vision. Apple sees this as a fashion accessory, a way to test the waters before the full AR revolution later in the decade. So, let's look at the big picture here. 2026 isn't just a refresh year. It is a year where Apple enters the budget laptop market, the foldable market, the smart glasses market, and completely reinvents their display technology. My honest opinion? The product to watch is that Budget MacBook. If Apple can actually deliver a high-quality laptop for $600, they will dominate the education sector. The foldable iPhone Ultra is cool, but at $2,000, it's a toy for the rich. The Budget MacBook is a tool for the masses. However, I'm super worried about the price hikes. Everything seems to be getting more expensive or splitting into ultra tiers. You really need to be smart about what you upgrade. Don't just buy the hype, buy what solves a problem for you. That was a lot to cover. It's honestly overwhelming how much tech is coming our way. I want to know what you think. Is a foldable iPhone worth $2,000? Would you buy a plastic MacBook? Let me know down in the comments. If you want to stay updated on these release dates so you don't miss out, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Share this video with that friend who is still holding on to their iPhone 11. They're going to need to see this. And hit that bell icon so you're the first to know when the leaks turn into reality. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.